In 2006, Pluto lost its status as a planet. After decades of being considered the ninth planet of our solar system, scientists officially reclassified Pluto as a dwarf planet. To many people, it seemed like Pluto had been erased from the solar system, but nearly a decade later, something incredible happened. A spacecraft called New Horizons traveled billions of miles across space and finally reached Pluto. What scientists discovered there completely changed how we see this distant world. Because Pluto was not a simple frozen rock drifting in darkness. Instead, it turned out to be a complex and mysterious world filled with strange landscapes, unusual weather, and geological activity. A place with floating mountains made of ice and red snow falling from the sky, and a massive heart-shaped region of frozen nitrogen slowly moving across its surface. Pluto lies in one of the most distant regions of our solar system. It orbits the Sun about 4 billion miles from Earth, far beyond the orbit of Neptune. This region of space is known as the Kuiper Belt. The Kuiper Belt is a vast area filled with icy objects, dwarf planets, and remnants left over from the formation of the solar system. For decades, scientists believed Pluto was simply another frozen object in this distant region. Because Pluto is so far away from the Sun, it receives very little sunlight and remains extremely cold. Before the New Horizons mission, most astronomers expected Pluto to be a geologically inactive world covered in ancient craters. But when the spacecraft finally arrived in 2015, the images it sent back revealed something far more complex. One of the most striking discoveries was the appearance of towering mountains made entirely of solid ice. These mountains rise several kilometers above Pluto's surface. On Earth, mountains are made primarily of rock, but on Pluto, the extreme cold allows water ice to become as strong as stone. Even more surprising was the discovery that Pluto's surface appears to be geologically young in some regions. Instead, some areas appear relatively smooth and recently formed. This suggests that Pluto may still experience internal activity reshaping its surface over time. Perhaps the most famous feature on Pluto is its enormous heart-shaped region, officially known as Tombo Regio. Sputnik Planitia is a vast basin filled with frozen nitrogen ice. But this nitrogen ice is not completely static. It may slowly churn and circulate. Somewhat like glaciers on Earth, Pluto's atmosphere is extremely thin. But it still produces unusual weather. The atmosphere contains gases such as nitrogen and methane. When sunlight interacts with these gases, it creates particles known as thalins. These particles fall back onto Pluto's surface, creating the effect of red snow falling from the sky over time. This material settles and contributes to the planet's distinctive reddish coloring. Pluto's largest moon, Charon, is almost half the size of Pluto itself. One of the most intriguing features on Charon is a dark region near its north pole known as Mordor Macula. Scientists believe this coloration may be caused by gases escaping from Pluto's atmosphere and becoming trapped at Charon's poles. One of the most fascinating possibilities about Pluto lies beneath its icy crust. Some researchers believe Pluto may contain a liquid ocean hidden deep below the surface. Internal heat from radioactive elements inside its core could keep water in liquid form beneath the ice. If such an ocean exists, it would mean that Pluto is not just a frozen outer solar system object. Despite its fascinating discoveries, Pluto remains classified as a dwarf planet. To be considered a planet, an object must orbit the Sun, be spherical, and clear its orbit of other debris. Pluto satisfies the first two conditions, but it shares its orbital region with many other objects in the Kuiper Belt. When New Horizons first approached Pluto, scientists expected to see a quiet, frozen world. Instead, they discovered a place filled with strange landscapes and unexpected activity. Pluto turned out to be a complex and fascinating world, a reminder that even distant objects can still surprise us. Subscribe to VibeVerse for more mind-blowing space discoveries, science mysteries, and futuristic technology explained in simple ways.